Hey, what's up, y'all? We are here. We are back, and we are live. It's your man Gi, aka Gi. I don't want to act like that ain't my government name. My government name is Isaac. That doesn't matter. But I am here with all government, Dewana Thompson.
Oh Lord.
Um, yeah, and we are talking to y'all about some important things. If you are watching right now, before we get into all this, go ahead and share the live. We have some
Yes.
very important information we need to make sure as many people as possible get a hold of this. Please share this live wherever you are right now. Dewana, let's talk about it.
Y'all, I I don't even know what to say, but today's program is called Your Voice Counts, Your Vote Counts. And it is just so ironic, maybe even significant, possibly even, divine that we decided to have this today.
Right.
Two very simple reasons. One, I know many of you may have heard that literally in the last couple of minutes that the Supreme Court made a ruling on the census, shifting a few things. We're going to talk about that. I know we kind of went into a panic for a second, like, what did they just do?
Right.
So if we kind of went into a panic, I'm sure you guys did. And some of you may have heard today, for instance, in the state of Virginia, somebody accidentally cut one cord and the
Right.
whole states of Virginia, their
Online voting registration.
their registration and voting system went down for the whole state from one accidental cut. These things are not accidents. They are intentional. They are voter suppression tactics. They are intimidation tactics. The census and the vote is so important. So we're so excited that we have this show tonight. We're going to bring to you so many experts, so many leaders from our community, and of course we're going to situate this in culture. We've got some phenomenal artists and entertainers and activists in their own right who are going to share with us. So Gia, I'm excited. I mean, I think we should just hop right into it because I'm over here ready to turn up. These people, they really trying to erase us in every way possible. But it's
Yeah.
all right. We count. You count. Your voice counts. What we getting into, Gia?
All right. So first and foremost, we are just gonna get some information to y'all. So if you didn't see already, we're talking about edutainment tonight, meaning you're gonna get some education, you're gonna get some entertainment. We are gonna bring Miss Carletta Singleton up first, and she's just gonna hip us to what we've got going on and make sure that you understand how you can activate yourself right now in this moment to make sure that you are counted in regards to this census thing. So we're going to bring Miss Carletta up here to the front of this stream. Miss Carletta, how are you doing
Good,
tonight?
good evening, GI, and good evening, Luana. How are
Hi.
you guys doing?
We are well. We are well. We are trying to put it together right now as it's coming to us. So we appreciate you being here in this moment to be able to give us some grounding and allow us to be in a space where we can have accurate information as much as you know. We know we're not asking you to be a fortune teller, but just tell us what you know, and then we're gonna get into what the people need to know so that everybody can be in the know. I said a lot of knowing right there, but what we're not saying no to is y'all getting out here and activating
Right.
yourself.
And what I can tell you that everyone needs to know right now is everyone need to be counted.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the message on point. Everyone needs to be counted. Just like it's important that everyone vote, it is as important that everyone be counted. And what I can say to you is currently our message is the census is important. It impacts every part of our life. You get federal funding, your tax dollars come back to your community. It pays for essential services, fire departments through CDBG funds, schools, and Title One school programs, free lunch, Section 8 public housing. It pays for all of those necessities of life. And right now, they couldn't be more important in this pandemic. And what we can say to everyone that you are still able to go online to my2020census.gov and complete the questionnaire online. And you can also call into the toll-free number. And that number is 844-330-2020. So to be counted in this 2020 decennial, you won't get another chance for the until 2030, next 10 years, is go online and be counted.
Yeah.
Currently, for the city of Birmingham, it's very important. The current self-response rate, and this is just people in households responding through the internet or through the toll free or mailing it back, mailing the questionnaire back.
Right.
That number sits at 55.3%. 55.3%. That is well below the state average, which is 63.5% of households responding through self-response. And it's well below for Jefferson County. That number is almost at 65, 68%. So we need to be very, very cognate in terms of what we tell the public, especially those residents in Birmingham. If your child gets free lunch, you want to make sure that that service is there for your child in the future or your grandchildren. So you want to make sure that you're being counted and you're counting everyone in your household. We don't want to leave anyone out. So complete the questionnaire, go to my2020census.gov and to complete the questionnaire online. And then, if you don't have access to online, make the phone call, use the toll-free number. It's being streamed streamed below. So make sure that you use that and go and make sure that everyone is counted.
Can you give me that phone number one more time? I want to make sure I have that on here as well.
Okay, that toll-free number is 844 330 2020.
2020. Gotcha. All right.
Right.
So we're going to make sure that periodically throughout this evening, we're going to keep that number showing. So that's the number that we have right there. We've got the website scrolling across the bottom. These are the things that you need to know to be able to get out here and make sure. Listen, we're talking about you counting tonight. There's a couple of different ways that you're going to need to make sure that you are in the number. One of those is the census and the other one is voting. But the pressing need right now is that you make sure that you all are being counted in this census. Again, the pressing need right now, make sure you're being counted in the census that is going on right now. So,
and Gia, let me just, if I may, if I can make this point to just how important it is. If for some reason you've been holding that questionnaire that you received in the mail and you filled it out, but you haven't mailed it back, please take that form, use your smartphone, go online right now and put that information in on the questionnaire online.
Yeah.
You don't have time to wait. We've been at this since March in terms of getting counted. Right now, the time is of essence. We don't know what that means, but what we do know, being counted sets I call it the preamble to voting. Because before you can vote, you got to have those congressional districts for your congressional representative. You have to have those state legislature districts for your state legislators. You have to even have those school districts and city council districts. So before you vote, where you vote and who you vote is based on the census. It's based on that census count. So please, everyone, take this time, be counted right now.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Ms. Carletta. I think the strongest thing that I heard you say is basically to stay the course until we figure out something different. This is the moment that we have. Let's be expeditious about it. Let's not get off focus. Let's stay focused. Let's fill out the census. If you have not done it, if you are watching because you wanted to see somebody sing or whatever it may be, please right now do it. Turn it in either on the website that's on here or call it in. Do whatever you possibly can do to be counted. Clearly, there are those who are not concerned about you having this opportunity. And so we want to do as much as we possibly can. Ms. Carletta, we really appreciate you being with us tonight. We're going to continue to push the information out there. I'm reading through some of the documents and things are coming at me and telling me, what the Supreme Court has done. But I think you said something really profound when we were talking earlier, which is that none of us sit on the Supreme Court and understand all of the language that is in this document. But what we can see is that nobody has absolutely cut it off yet. And so until they shut it down, we got a job to do and we need to do as much. And that's why we're doing this tonight. That was the whole focus of having it, the last one we did, and tonight. And so we've got, tons of people on here tonight. The last live, I think Isaac reached over 20,000 people or something like that. So we're really excited about what this kind of information going out. And we got so thank you so much, Miss Carlotta. We're gonna shift over to some of the next individuals, but we appreciate all you're doing. All right, who I know we've got some great voices who are gonna join us right now. So I'll kick it over to you. You're on mute, my friend.
All right, cool. Now we back in there. I was just talking my head off over here. The question is, do we want to keep giving them education or do we want to get some entertainment in here? Because we have a lot of both of those in here, and I want to make sure that we have. I feel like people need to be educated a little bit more. Like I don't want to miss the moment.
Right.
Yeah. So I think what I want to do is, if he's ready, I want to bring up Parker with the Birmingham City Council to let him speak a little bit. So let me get him in here and let him say his speech.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Fine. Still in shock. I logged on like you did in disbelief and shock, but want to encourage everyone and thank Ms. Singleton and everything that you all are doing in this partnership to make sure that we have no time to waste. I think, the postmark starts at 8:00 tonight. If you're in your car or if you are close, stop what you're doing. And if you haven't filled out your census, fill it out and go down to the downtown post office so that at least it will be postmarked by 8 p.m. tonight at the downtown post office. Right. If you're within the city of Birmingham, or if you can call and go online or call 844-330-2020. We have no time to waste. And we need everyone to please participate in Census 2020. It's vitally, vitally important. A lot of funding is at stake. As relates to the city of Birmingham, there's billions and billions of dollars at stake for cities throughout the city of Birmingham, throughout the state, and all across the country. And we need everyone to participate in the Census 2020. So I want to thank you all. I know I have other colleagues that are coming up later, but it's so important, that we participate in the Census 2020 process. We need everyone to stop what they're doing now and please complete the forms, whether online, by calling, or simply going down to the post office by 8:00 tonight. It's so important. So thank you all. And we're here to help. We'll be working, I'm sure, as this program goes on and also through the next couple of days, making sure we're doubling down and working and doing our part to work with all the different groups to make sure that we have everyone counted and participate in the Census 2020.
Thank you, Councilor Parker. We want to just acknowledge the fact that you guys have been doing a lot to try to get the census out. You've been in the neighborhoods. You had a whole digital campaign, and so we know that this takes, it takes a village. Literally, it takes a village. And I can't believe what we saw a few minutes ago.
Yeah, we were all in shock.
I'm just like, wow. Between that. And, I just really quickly like to get your thoughts on, even seeing some of the issues that have been happening in major, with voting in major areas. With what happened in Virginia, the whole state, their system went down today. In Georgia, they were early voting and the lines were 6 and 7 hours long in some places. Just what are your thoughts just as we transition? Why is it so important that people, stay focused and both do the census and vote?
Let me just tell you, every vote truly counts, and we want to make sure everyone participates in the process. Not only do we need you to fill out the Census 2020, but we also need to make sure that you prepare and vote early for the November 3rd election. Make sure that you call your loved ones. I'm not Greek, but a shout out and a challenge to all the sororities and fraternities, social groups, social and savings groups, churches, pastors, community leaders. Listen, pick up the phone, and just like in the old days we used to call everyone, let's check on everyone and make sure that everyone not only has filled out the Census 2020, but everyone participates in early voting, but also make sure November 3rd. So we need everyone to be a committee to make sure that you call on 10 people that or or if you're moving around or social media post, please do early voting. We see what's going on in Georgia. We see what's going on in Virginia, around the country, and also here in the city of Birmingham. It's every vote truly, truly counts. And so we need everyone to please participate, not only in the Census 2020 process, but also making sure you participate in the voting process that leads up to the November 3rd election. And we need everyone to do early voting, and then also make sure you call others and make sure that they participate in the process. Census plus November 3rd early voting is what we all are going to need to do and make ourselves a committee of one to do, not only for ourselves, but others that we know.
Thank you so much, Councilor Parker. We appreciate you, and we look forward to listening to talking to some of our other councilors tonight, and we'll just keep pushing this information out there. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you all. Thank you.
All right, listen. We understand what the moment is right now, right? Like there are a lot of things that are swirling, right? There's a lot of winds that are swirling right now, and it's easy in the midst of that moment to be panicky and to, flit around and not really have a calm about yourself that's necessary for you to make the proper decisions and get the headway, understand what direction you need to go. And so that's hopefully this moment allows us to center ourselves and get us into a place where we're like, okay, listen, we get it. Stuff is happening. Right. What's the move? What direction do we need to take? How do we make sure that we proceed in a direction that's going to be the most helpful for us as a collective that are here in this ship together, right? And I say all that to say, I need everybody who's watching this live right now. There's probably about 20 to 30 people that are in various places watching this live. I need you all to take a moment and share something, whether you're sharing this stream, whether you're sharing information with just do this right. Like, don't wait until this is over. Right, don't wait until you feel like this is the moment right now to make sure that you are using your network to its advantages and doing something to make sure that we're being beneficial for everyone else. Take a moment right now, go share something about the information that we have going on right now, whether it's something to remind people to take the census, something to remind people to register or early vote, something about this stream. Please just take the 30 seconds it takes to click share on something so that we can get this information circulating in this moment and all this synergy going on right now. All right. Yeah. Cool. Anyway, I'm off that soapbox. We're going to get on with the program. Yeah. We got a lot of lovely people back here that need to get up here and talk. I think I want to talk to somebody who is currently representing a lot of things that we have in our history that is super important, right? We're in a historical moment right now, but there are people who are helping to represent and bring us together around things that are concerning our history. Can we talk to Mr. Isaac Cooper? Can we do that?
Let's do it. Cool.
Mr. Isaac Cooper, gonna bring him up here to this screen, sir.
Hey, sir.
Hey, how we doing this evening?
We're doing well. We appreciate you taking time to come talk to us.
Yeah.
Of course. Not us, but all the people who are out here viewing this.
Well, look, Gi, one thing we got to get cleared up is how you spell Isaac. Hopefully, it's the same one, S and 2 A's. I didn't know we was on the same wavelength there. That's right. But
yes,
of course,
please let the people know.
Vote. Man, salute to you, Queen, on just continuing to endure and cast a vision that everyone can run under, so we can see the value in ourselves. And so this is just a fantastic, not only platform, but you just continue to provide solutions that we can apply immediately. So thank you for that.
Thank you. So first of all, I'm pretty sure most people know who this dynamic guy is, but if you don't know, Isaac Cooper is the president of the board for the chair of the board for the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. Listen, I will go out on a full limb and say the BCRI, the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, is one of the most important and necessary venues and really just partners that we have in representation, not only of the city of Birmingham, but of the state and of the civil rights and of the movement that, for people all over this world, when they thought about what was going on for justice and rights, they looked to the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute and the information and the history that's housed there to really know what's possible and to be inspired for the next moment. So what a lot of people are like, well, why is Isaac on here? Why would you have representation from the Civil Rights Institute talking about the census? We know probably why voting, right? That's an easier connection to draw. But why the census? And we were talking about, a lot of people always ask us like, okay, for real, y'all, what does the census do? Why would I give me a real reason other than if we don't, do it, it doesn't count? Well, if you are like me, you know, you want our whole city to thrive. You want opportunities and things to be happening across the entire city. And so what people don't realize is the census, the resources that come to this city are what helps us to continue to have thriving businesses, thriving education, thriving neighborhoods, and a thriving tourism, education, and economics, you know, a platform. The Civil Rights Institute represents all of that. So Isaac, please, you know, why do you think it's important? Why was it important for you to be on here specifically as the chair of the board for the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute as we talk about census?
Yeah, so Dewana, to your point, it is truly an honor to have the seat within the Institute. It's been so much I've been able to learn. I think it's been dope, the proximity I've been able to have with the civil rights heroes and sheroes that are still living, right? So we have so much rich history right here in our backyard that's just been walking in plain sight. And so I've been able to wrap my arms around them and feel their sacrifice, which has been truly an honor.
Yeah.
Throughout this time frame, and if I'm completely honest, you know, a couple of years ago, this was not something that was on my radar when it pertained to a census, right? I was one of the folks that was, you know, I don't know if this is really impactful, right? I was in that corner. But the more I became aware of the asset that I can provide to the community, the more I wanted to be intentional on what proceeds impact that community, right? And so once I shifted that lens, then I became more aware on the type of resources, to your point, because when I think about the census, it's really about money and power, right?
Yeah.
Power when it pertains to the congressional seats,
Yeah.
and then money when it pertains to the resources that's dispersed amongst our neighborhoods and our communities. And so to say that you are a believer in your community, to say that you are living in the best interest of your community and your family, you are really contradicting yourself by not participating in the census and not voting. And so when I think about the historical perspective and the lens, and more so what Birmingham represented, and again, the endurance, but when I think about Birmingham, as one term is resilience, right? Like this ability to see pain, feel pain, but go around it, get through it, right? And get to it, right? And so this is really 10 minutes of one's time to be able to have an impact. I was looking at some data recently about DC, and due to an undercount within their educational system, I believe it was over the course of a 10-year period, $54 million per year, right? And so that is a lot of money that could go towards lunch, free lunch, that could go towards the fire stations. I just had a client recently, they had a child recently get sick, and the closest resource was the fire station, right? And it provided that help. And so let's think about the resources that's in our backyard, but also let's think about the shoulders that we are standing on to be able to have a backyard, to be completely honest. And so we have to protect these assets, but also propel what's been preserved, right? So when we think about the Institute, we've done an amazing job preserving, right? But for those that are listening right now, it is on us to propel it and move it forward, to make sure that we are living in history instead of just reviewing history.
That's so good.
You said a whole lot of stuff that I need to make sure we quote and clip and put out there somewhere, because that was and then you're doing it in this really dope zip up vest that you got going on here. So I'm a little jealous of the fashion that's happening at the same time. You can't be profound and fashionable at the same time. There's too much for the people. Is all I'm trying to tell you, sir. But no, you've said a mouthful and a half, and I think that is important. And again, like having the historical lens and the understanding of what the importance of the moment and how it ties to our history, I think, is a thing that we overlook too often. When we talk about being counted in this moment, or being allowed to be counted in this moment, versus times when the count didn't weigh in our favor, right? Like the things that we were counted like inventory, as opposed to being people who had a say and had a voice. And if we don't capture our opportunity to allow our voices to be heard in those moments, and see how there's a transition in between those places, I think we risk ourselves being lost in the midst of all this stuff. So no, sir, we definitely appreciate you taking the time for that.
Yes, sir, brother.
Listen, thank you so much, Isaac. You know, we're going to continue. We need to do one of these for the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute very soon, because there's just
Let's
so
do
much
it.
work happening over there. So, you know, what we're just committed to is making sure that people understand that the census, it is so much bigger than what one may think it is. It's almost like the vote. When we always say to people, you know, why would they take your vote away if they didn't know it was, you know, they know it's powerful. Well, why would
Right.
this off? They know it's powerful. And so we need people tonight, if you're trying to get it in the mail, it got to be postmarked by 8 o'clock. You can go to the downtown post office. If not, though, for the most of us, we need to just get online and do it. It takes less than, really, it took me 6 minutes to do it and to do my census online. You can also call it in if you don't have access to a computer. Please, the number to call it in is 844-330-2020. Again, thank you so much, Coop. We're gonna, you know, we just wanted to make sure that we represented so many different parts of our community tonight, and we appreciate you for sharing. I know you got to put a little one down, so thank you so much for being with us.
Absolute honor. You have a good one.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. Listen, that was amazing words. I always love to hear brothers being profound and speaking to us
Yeah,
in a way that shows that we are able to accurately grasp moments and speak to those moments in a very intelligent way. So
yeah,
I appreciate the brother for hopping on and giving us that. All
absolutely.
right.
I think it's
So we've
time.
been we've been we've been pretty heavy so far on trying to give you guys the education. I think it's time for us to give them a little bit of entertainment.
It's time.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over here to our artist live, and our first artist that's gonna come to us is one of my favorites, one of my favorite voices from the city of Birmingham. She just got such a beautiful tone. I
Yes,
love the
Lord.
tone.
Yes,
But
Lord.
yeah, this my sister Kristine is gonna come bless us. After she gets done singing, we're gonna talk to her for a minute. So Kristine, don't go running from that microphone after you get done singing on it, okay, young lady? All right, so we're gonna get Kristine in here and we're gonna let her bless our souls for just a few moments. So y'all be ready for that. Kristine, you are on now.
Stand in love. Ooh. Stand in love. Ooh. Stand in love. The way that he looks at me when he holds my hand, he wants everyone to know I'm his woman, he is my man. We can talk about anything, he's got nothing to hide. He's not afraid of his feelings, he's not a slave to his pride. He's giving me love so steady, he touches my heart. Now I'm ready, he touches my soul and my spirit. He's giving me love. Love me so steady. Ooh, steady love. Ooh, hey, steady love. I ain't never met a man that I wanted to be his wife. Then he came along. It's so natural to make a life. 'Cause he's the perfect compliment. 'Cause I'm a bounce in my world. But when we're together, he just makes me feel like his girl. He's giving me love so steady. He touches my heart. Now I'm ready. He touches my soul and my spirit. He's giving me love. Love me so steady. He was every other man I've ever known. easy anyway. I wanna do it with him. Hey, and I with him. Oh, steady love. Hey, baby. Oh, steady love. Oh, oh, steady love. Oh, oh, steady love. Mm. Oh, steady love, baby. Oh.
Hey, we here. Don't worry. Are y'all gonna do another number for us? Or is that it? That's all you got for me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see, are they gonna do another number for us, or is this all we got?
Well, we got other artists coming up later, but it looks like they might be stalling.
They froze.
So let's go to
Yeah, so we'll keep it in motion for right now. Yeah, so that was a beautiful song, though. Of course, my sister Kristen A is going to always bring the beautiful vocals out for us. But we want to make sure that we get back into this entertainment, that education piece.
yeah.
So I think up next, who do we have up next, Tawana?
We have one of my favorite people that we I feel like I've seen him so much in the last couple of days because we've been doing a couple of lives together. But Carlos is here. He wears so many hats across this state. I think this is really important. Carlos, is he on deck with us? Because I want to know which
here we go.
affiliation he wants to have today. Hey, Carlos, how you doing?
Hey, good. Thank you so much for having me, y'all. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for joining us. I was just about to say, I was going to say Hickett, and I was going to say newly elected city councilor. I'm not sure, you got on a hat. How many hats you wearing tonight? So, Carlos, just introduce yourself first and tell us, how you present in all of the spaces, and really, why, it's important for us to be having this conversation around the census, especially given what's happening to, in the last couple of minutes or last hour or so with that.
Absolutely. I got my immigrant hat quite literally on today. So I try to represent for my people. I'm a recovering academic. I used to be a professor of history, did Latino immigration, and I'm currently the deputy director at Hispanic Interest Coalition of Alabama and newly elected counselor for Homewood here in Alabama.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Recovering academic. That is hilarious to me. I love it.
I know, I feel it. So, Carlos, I don't know if I'm sure you have heard. The Supreme Court has shifted some things around the census today. We thought we may have had several more days, and we're not exactly sure what's happening. So, what our message tonight is, as much as possible, whoever's watching this, if you haven't done the census, do it tonight. But either way, whether we can continue through the 31st or, tonight is the deadline. Why is this census so important to all of our communities, and to specifically the diversity that exists in our community? What have you been telling particularly the communities that you serve directly or are a part of, Carlos?
Sure. I think that, for us, this is just a continuation of a pattern we've seen the last 4 years, right? Of a community that really is resilient and persistent in the face of adversity and negative rhetoric, right? And I think that we have to take into account the fact that Black and Latino communities are historically undercounted, right? And so we have to take our place. We have to be real adamant about making sure that we're counted, right? Because that's the only way that folks are going to pay attention to us. So in terms of job creation, in terms of social services, schools, Medicaid, what have you, we need to come out and make sure that folks know that we're here, right? I think that, I always say is that if Black and brown communities realize the potential, that and power that we have together because our interests are aligned, right? We would really change and be transformative in the direction of our communities. And so I think that the census is one way to definitely do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Carlos, today maybe you saw this too, and it just boiled me really that somebody accidentally cut a cord in Virginia, and everybody lost access to the voter network in the whole state from just cutting one cord, right? And I have to just sort of wonder, I'm not even a conspiracy theorist, but I'm like, so in the same day where people are standing in long lines in Georgia and in Louisville and places where, we've been sort of talking about this access to the vote, and then in Virginia, another place where we've had historic turnout here recently, these things are happening. And then the Supreme Court on top of that, I think the thing for me is, how do we keep people engaged? How do we make sure that they don't get, discouraged with what may seem like distractions and all of that? What's your best pitch for completing this census and for voting in this upcoming presidential election up and down the ballot?
I mean, I think the best pitch that I can always make is that the only reason that there's such a fight is because people are scared to the changing demographics of this country, right? The future is black and brown. And I think that we have to take ownership of that. Yeah, I think that we have to take pride in that. And that if we want to take the leadership of what the direction of our country is going to be in the next 20, 40, 50 years, then we got to show up, right? And you can only lead if you show up.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, that's it right there. I mean, you can only lead if you show up. Your voice, your vote, your census. This is how we, this is how we exist in a lot of ways in the eyes of this country. And so we know that we don't always exist in some of the more, the more natural ways, and some of the ways that we wish we could exist in the eyes of this country. But we know for sure that they want our taxes.
Oh, all day.
Listen, they want our labor, and they want our brilliance. And so all of that for me is connected to the work that is connected to our power of voting, of census, and of community. So thank you so much, Carlos, for joining us. Is there anything else we should know?
Well, I just want to say thank you to Woke Vote. I think that, reaching out to black and brown communities and trying to bring collaboration and alignment is what we need to be doing as communities. Okay. And so I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Carlos. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ike, you are muted, sir.
I got, my son is here and he's in the background making a lot of noise. I'm trying not to have him interrupt people while they're giving us all this good information. So that's the reason I keep muting myself. But then I forget to bring myself back off of mute. So
no worries.
Anyway, what I was saying was that's great information from Carlos, and we appreciate him giving his time to make sure that we have that synergy tonight. So we're going to have one more speaker come up and talk to you all before we get back into some of this good singing. I think we are going to pivot and have Mr. Quan Do come up and talk to us for just a moment and give us some more perspective on the moment that we're in. So let me bring Quan in here and see if we can do that.
What's up, Quan?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to start off by saying I'm gonna disagree with my brother Carlos for a second and say that the future is black and brown, but it's also yellow. People say that America is a melting pot, but I'd really say it's more like a fried rice. Because in a melting pot, everything's blended in. You don't know what you're eating, but in a fried rice, you got the rice, but you can see the vegetables and the meat. It brings out the color. That's all I'm saying.
That's a message right there. Listen, I have to preach that America is not a melting pot. It is a fried rice. Oh my, that's good there, Quan. Thank you so much for joining us, Quan. Seriously. For those who may not know who you are, tell us who you are, who you represent, and what you guys have been doing as it relates to the census work.
Yeah, so my name is Quan Do. I'm a program officer with the Community Foundation of Greater Birmingham. And sort of the reason I'm here is we've been working with a collaborative organizations on something called the Alabama Hard to Count Collaborative. Yeah. And really our focus is on making sure that the communities who are hardest to count, like Carlos was talking about, Black, Brown, LGBTQ, immigrant populations, both documented and undocumented, are counted. And I think the most important thing I'll say is I really appreciate the work that Dawana, y'all are doing with Woke Vote, because the systems and the institutions that are working their hardest to make sure that, again, Black, Brown, LGBTQ voices aren't counted at the ballot box, are also working very actively to make sure that we're not getting our money. And that's what the census comes down to. I had prepared like a whole bunch of numbers because I'm a numbers guy. But you know, you heard the same news that I heard, that all of us heard right before the call. And I think it's important for us to be really, really honest and understand sort of the systems that are at play right now. So what happened in the courts today, this wasn't the first time. So our coalition, along with national folks, we've been fighting this really since the beginning of the COVID crisis. The Census Bureau came out and said, there is no way for us to do a complete and accurate count, especially in Black, Brown, poor, working class communities by the deadline of December 31st. And they said, I think it was back in May, we need to extend this until October 31st. And at first the White House was like, sure, why not? But there's a specific reason, and I'm not here to be political or partisan. These are just the facts. Have been fighting this at every level of the courts up until now. So now it's up, you know, the Supreme Court has extended the White House's motion, but this isn't the first time. So just last Thursday, actually, all of us nationally and in the state who've been doing this work, we breathed a sigh of relief because the lower courts came out and said, no, this has to go until October 31st. We'll figure it out later. And so my coalition, so we've been working with HICA, Voices, the Black Belt Community Foundation, ACIJ, and we've been able to raise national dollars and re-grant out close to $350,000 in the last year or so, specifically focused on making sure that rural communities, again, Black, Brown, and working class communities are really counted. I just want to also give a shout out, I don't know if she's still on the call, to Ms. Carletta Singleton and the work that her team has been doing, despite all the sociocultural and political context that's been going on. Their team has been grinding and has not been easy to be sort of the grassroots census folks in this. So I want to make sure I shout her out. And the very last thing I'll say is that if you are in Birmingham, if you have family in the Black Belt, if you have family in rural communities, every single person that is counted is worth $1,600. $1,600. And just for context, in 2019, that was $4 billion for our state in medical assistance, so like Medicaid. It was $1.2 billion for SNAP, $200 million for Head Start, $471 million for Pell Grants and student loans. So literally everything that y'all are working towards in terms of making sure that voices are counted, we're making sure that we get paid.
Yeah. You can take it from here. I was
about to say he said he wasn't gonna come with the numbers, but I was ready to hear them numbers right there. I needed them numbers to be in here so we can contextualize this for the people. Look, we got to make it plain for folks so that they understand exactly the gravity of the moment, right? Like it's one thing to give people an expectation or an assignment or try to hold them accountable for an act, but they need to also understand the gravity of that act, right? Like it's not just for the sake of we want to keep tabs on people. We need people to understand that this means more than just the moment that we're in. This has reverberate. Like the next time that we're going to make this count is going to be a long time from now, right? So we don't get to do this again. This moment is going to echo for years, right? And so we need to do the right thing in this moment. So I appreciate that, sir.
You did the doggone thing. We appreciate you so much.
Not a problem at all. Thank you all for having us.
Thank you.
Again, I genuinely appreciate all the work that y'all are doing. I think if y'all hadn't been working as hard as y'all had been for the last couple of years, our work would have been a lot harder. So we appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
All right, thank you, Quan. All right, so now we've gotten some context around some of these numbers. Again, the idea tonight is not just to educate you, but to entertain you as well. So we are going to get a little bit more of that entertainment going on here. And we are going to go back over to our artist lounge and we're going to bring up a dynamic voice. Miss Jill Gray is going to come bless us with a little something. So y'all give it up for Jill as she comes out here.
Facebook and YouTube. Good evening.
Baby, 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 from the day I saw you, I really, really want to catch your eye. And from the day I saw you, but I must really like you. Oh, you set my soul on fire. Oh, baby, 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 I can't wait for the first time. My imagination's running so wild. It feels like you don't know my name. And I swear it feels like see, you don't know my name. Oh, baby, 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 I see us on our first date. My imagination's running so wild. And when we had our first kiss, boy, it happened on a Thursday. And oh, it set my soul on fire. Oh, baby, 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 I can't wait for that first time. My imagination's running so wild. It feels like so you don't know my name. And I swear it feels like you don't know my name. We never know. I'm doing more than I've ever done for anyone's attention. Take notice of what's in front of you, cause did I mention you about to miss a good thing? And you never know how good it feels to have all of my affection. And you never get a chance to experience my loving, because my loving feels like, oh, you don't know my name, and I swear it feels like you don't know my name. Will you ever know? No, baby, no. You don't know. You don't know my name. Will you ever know? No, baby, no, no. You don't know my name. Thank you.
I love me some Jill. She has an incredible voice. It's just, I just love her so much. She's got a great spirit and an incredible voice. And
Yeah,
another song and a throwback. How about that?
you know what? I think that people sleep a little too much on the talent that we have here in the city of
Absolutely.
Birmingham. And I love when we get opportunities to give people platforms to be able to do things like this. It's important, I think, for us. I say us because I am a part of the artist community, but for
Yeah.
us to be able to be married to moments that involve activism, just
Yeah.
because our voices tend to bring people together. And when we get folks together, it's time to have a conversation sometimes,
Yeah.
And so, listen, we about to have a conversation real
I
quick.
think
We
you
about to
right.
talk. We gonna talk to y'all. Now we've been all nice and pretty with it. We gonna keep it real for the next few moments
Yeah.
here. Can we do that? Can we keep it real?
You
Now she
already
done went.
know. She
She
don't
done
know
went.
what real.
She done went and got herself fancy, and she putting on her face and all that kind of stuff and getting her clothes. But she listen. I don't care. I don't care what kind of clothes she got on. She gonna talk to you in the most real terms as
Yeah.
possible. So we're gonna bring up to the lovely stream Miss LaShonda Scales, the commissioner, Shonda Scales. LaShonda Scales, how you doing this evening?
I am wonderful. I tell you, you put me on the spot, man, and threw me all up under the bus.
I ain't listen. If we gonna be real, we gonna be all the way real. We can't ask the people to keep it real, and we not gonna keep it real ourselves. Let's talk to the people real tonight.
Well, as they said, period.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner. Listen, we always say this, like literally probably one of the hardest working women, one of the hardest working people in this state, and particularly for this region. And so I know that it is, when I called, I said, Lord, she probably got 1,000 things to do, but it's just a testament to her commitment to our community and to helping us get the things that we need, that you would take the time out tonight to do this with us. So thank you for joining us, Commissioner Scales. How you doing?
Well, wonderful, and thank you, Dewana, for allowing me this opportunity to come on this platform. I've been enjoying it. I'll be honest with you. I had to hurry up and come back, and I said, yeah, I mean, they making it jump. So I've really been enjoying it. I think you all have been using such creativity to get people involved in something that I believe is so critical to where we are today. So, if you want me to keep it real with you, as I was sitting here thinking, I said, well, they might not want to go to that slavery, but anybody that knows me know that I talk about that, and especially for Black and brown people. Yesterday was Columbus Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly discovering America, yet America already existed, and you had what? Native Americans and Quakers that were already here. Yeah. And land and property has always been the fight. So real talk tonight is territory. Yeah. We don't understand your census count is so important because it speaks to how territorial that people want to be. So when we talk about young people and slavery, and we say, well, if I was back during that time, ain't no way they could have done that to me. Well, okay, I beg to differ. 2020, you need to be counted, and you allowing the same system to make you non-existent. You don't even matter. You won't matter if you're not counted. And why is it so critical for the Supreme Court to, at the last moment, to make this kind of decision? Is because if you're not counted, you don't exist with the federal government. So that's me keeping it very real with you. We can pass out all the food boxes we want. I've done it. I really enjoy it. But when we talk about economic development dollars, keeping folks in business, you all are entrepreneurs in your own right. You talk about, I want my neighborhood to be clean. Well, it takes MONEY.
Make it plain.
Let me keep it even more 100 with everyone. There are other areas in Jefferson County. They are outperforming our Black and brown communities. And so you go over and see that they have street lights while you have busted lights. If you see that they have more going on in their communities, because the dollars are there and they're being counted. So if you don't be counted, you don't have no say so about the money. And I will say this too, when we talk about unemployment in our community, I mean, where you think unemployment coming from? I mean, it's not just going to fall out the sky.
That's right.
It comes from taxes. And guess what? Those taxes will be taken from you, but not be reciprocated if you're not counted.
Right.
Woo. I know that was a mouthful, but you asked me to be myself. That's the only way I know how to be, because I believe the truth, the truth that will set and make you free. Right. And I think that, when we talk about money and all of that, I think we kind of been missing it. And so when I keep looking, I live in Birmingham. Obviously, I'm at the county commission. So we have 35 cities that we have jurisdiction over. And I said, man, that's crazy. You mean to tell me even with food, money, resources, if you notice, even when the Surgeon General came to Alabama, he didn't come to Birmingham. He went to where? Hoover. And I had to beg to get it over in the city of Centerpoint. Miss Birmingham altogether. And that's why I'm saying that we got to rise up, y'all. You are the next generation. And I love this creativity. I can't say thank you enough for allowing me to come on board to say, listen, let's keep it real. If you didn't matter, they would not be trying to do what they wouldn't let President Obama do. And just 3 years ago, they told him you couldn't get a Supreme Court nominee on the Supreme Court. So if they're trying to rush and get all of this stuff done, I mean, come on, folks. We know what time it is, but it don't matter if you don't get counted.
Yeah. That's so true. I mean, and I want to say I'm always excited for people to come in the fullness and the fullness of who they are and the truth of who they are. And so I think, people need strong voices because there's so much chatter, so much going on that we don't know if it's true or not. I mean, even tonight when, we were all on here for about 10 minutes, like, wait, is this true with the census? I mean, with this, do we have a reputable source? Is this just on Shade Room? Or like, where did it come from? Who said it? Because we know that there are so many different streams of information, so many people, willing to put misinformation out there. It's like, how do we make sure that what we are, I told them, I said, I'm not saying nothing until I know what the actual, the facts are to say. And so the facts are that the system is rooted in white supremacy. You've already discussed that from territory, power, and land. We know that to be true. It's the whole conversation around reparations. It's the whole conversation around a lot of things. And so I just, I appreciate you for bringing, just that very raw and not even really raw. Because I mean, what's raw is them trying to take away our votes and take away our opportunities and take away those things. And so I thank you for just putting us up on game and making sure that we just speak truth to power about what something is, so that it's hard to fight something if you can't identify it. And so you basically just put a name on it. We're going to identify. We are trying, Commissioner, to get as many people to do the census. If not, today, I mean, now we've, according to the current process at 8:00, you needed to have postmarked by 8:00 tonight so far. So if you didn't do it and postmark it, please, so that we can also now you can still get on the census website. You can still phone call in until they say that someone and I won't say someone, Miss Carletta, she made the point of saying that it looks like what they did was cut off all resources from the numerators and the door knockers, people who were out in the community, but they haven't yet cut off the website and some of those other things. So while it's still there, guys, please utilize these tools to do this census, and then take that same energy and go and early vote if you can, or make sure to make a vote plan, because that's really what we need to do. Take that same energy. You got anything? Because I don't want to take. I mean, listen, she laid out the gospel. I ain't got much more to say.
Listen, I was over here giving my amens. I'm all right with that. We could pass the collection plate. Listen, while we're having church, we need to get some more entertainment in here. But listen, Commissioner Scales, we definitely appreciate you taking the time. You talked about us allowing you to come on. You didn't have to come on and do this, so we definitely appreciate you extending your voice and your platform with us in order to get more people informed about what needs to happen. So we're definitely appreciative of that.
Thank you also for the work that you all did at the commission to get the early voting opportunities and things that we have, because we know that wasn't the case at first, and that it took some elbow grease behind the scenes. And so that really has been a game changer for our city and for our county. And some people don't even realize it's happening. So we're trying to get the word out about that. And I just want to remind people that you can right now go to, it's particularly in Jefferson County, go to the county courthouse. You can request an absentee ballot. They will give you the form there. You can fill it out and vote then and turn that back in. What we want to be sure people know, because this seems to have been quite a little bit of an issue, Commissioner Scales, maybe you can speak to this, but some people have been getting their ballot and writing little things on them, or somebody may have highlighted, and those ballots could be invalidated if there's something on there that's not supposed to be on there. So if you receive your ballot and there's something on there that's not right, take that back in person, say something to them, or if you're there in person, make sure that your ballot is going to count when you turn it back in, because that is something that is hard, it's heart-wrenching for somebody to think that they've done their due diligence and then find out, that they, their vote didn't count. And so we heard that from a couple of people, Commissioner, that some folk had gone down there and were trying, and then the ballots got invalidated. But more than ever, we've seen that the lines are long, which means people have the capacity to vote, and we're going to keep pushing them to do it. Is there anything else we should know real quick before we leave with you, Commissioner?
Well, I will tell you, first of all, again, I cannot say thank you enough. I mean, young people, you all are the Joshua and Caleb. I mean, you going out and going and you getting it. And so I want to encourage everyone, as you complete your census right now, while we're talking, I want you to also make sure that if you're not registered to vote, you have until October 19th, which is next week. And all you got to do is go to Alabama Votes with an S .gov, register to vote right now. If you are an ex-felon, you're interested in getting your rights restored so you can vote, there is a number that you can call to the Alabama Pardon and Parole Board right there in Montgomery. Press option number 7. That will get you directly to the department where you need, so you can go ahead and figure it out. And let me say this to both of you. I register a lot of ex-felons to vote. Thank you for putting that on the screen. And let me tell you, there are some people who have served their time and they said, oh, I don't think I can vote. No, come on now. I told you slavery is only to the degree in your mind. I need to know if I'm not registered, I'm not eligible to vote, right? All you got to do is call the Jefferson County Board of Registrars. That's 205-325-5550. Call that number. They will actually be able to tell you if you are eligible to vote. That's 205-325-5550. That's the Jefferson County Board of Registrars. The last thing for the both of you is the 17th and the 24th. We are still working on that now to make sure that Saturdays, and I just spoke to the circuit clerk today, to make sure that we're good to go. And so we're still making sure that there's a confirmation of that. But Mondays through Friday until October 29th, in person absentee vote.
Yeah.
Therefore, you don't have no room for error. You're right there. If anything is wrong, let's make it right. Right there at the ballot. Your ballot shouldn't be shaded, have nothing else other than what's printed. You need to be aware there are 6 amendments that are on that ballot. I know because I voted, right? Now, you got to go ahead and mark up general election. If you are under the age of 65, you will shade in box number 2 to say that's your reason for voting in person. It's going to say due to physical incapability and capability or whatever. And that it's going to use that language, but that's from the Secretary of State's office. Number 2. Number 3, you shade that box in if you are over 65. You get it? And so it's on the 5th floor, room 500 at the Jefferson County Courthouse in Birmingham, Richard Arrington Jr. Boulevard. Then we have the Bessemer Courthouse, and that too is made available for you to in-person absentee vote. You can bring your driver's license, military ID, school ID, non-driver's license. I know I covered a lot, but since you gave me that little platform, I had to put that plug in there that said vote, 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 vote. And listen, you're part of Woke Vote. Go vote.
That's right.
Once we are eligible to vote, let's vote. If you let somebody take away your voice, that is your excuse. Your vote is your voice. And this is not just a privilege or a right. This is your duty as an American citizen. It's different when I tell you it's a right, because I'm learning people don't care about folk, they died and bloodshed. We've heard that, and you still don't go out to vote. So now I'm going to keep it real with you. It's a duty. This is your responsibility. If you are an American citizen, show me some sign, go vote.
That's all right. Well, that's it there. How
Listen,
much?
we needed every bit of that information too. That's good information, especially about the process for making sure that you know what you need to do for the early voting, because a lot of people have gone into that situation ignorant and have waited in line for a long time only to find out they didn't have the necessary things. So it's good to make sure that we have this information out in front of people. So again, I tell you, if you are watching this live right now and you have not shared it, please make sure you share it. A lot of great information coming on here. Of course, some great singing and some great entertainment, but we need this education out here for these people.
Thank you, Commissioner Scales. We'll keep telling people everything that you shared with us throughout the process, and we've been out there ourselves, so we'll keep moving. We'll keep pushing.
All right, good job. Enjoy, y'all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
All right, Commissioner Scales. Listen, I told you she was gonna keep it real with y'all, and she kept it all the way real, and also listen. It was really good information, though. Like, I don't want to, in all of the joking and all that. She has a sincere heart for making sure that people are doing the things that they need to do to help themselves, and then she aids in what ways she can to help you for the places that you can't help yourself.
Right.
So we appreciate people who are doing that sort of thing. All right. We've had some good information. Now we're gonna get back to some good singing. Another one of my friends, I'm glad I get to call so many of these people my friends.
Oh, I'm excited. Listen.
So we're gonna bring up here to these lovely deliverance microphones. Did I take you to church real quick? We're gonna make sure we get this lovely artist to come up here for y'all. Y'all give it up one time for my girl Fifi up in the place.
I hope she brought that little drum box, because that's my favorite.
This is an original song called Time. I hope you enjoy it. They say that time is of the essence, and we might regret it if we don't use it as we should. They say if you love somebody, then let them go, and if they go, they'll come back to you. Well, I don't wanna take that chance, 'cause time might not come back again and bring love back to me. That's why I gotta do all I can. I got to make amends for the time I've lost being foolish. Oh, so time, I apologize. Will you be my friend? I apologize. I know I was foolish. I apologize for letting you slip through my hands. I apologize when you gave me a chance. I apologize. Oh yes, I admit I apologize. It was immaturity. I apologize. That made me misuse you. I apologize. But time, please come back to me. I gotta get it. Time, please come back to me. I gotta get it. Time, please come back to me. Yeah. I gotta get it. Time, please come back to me. I gotta get it. I gotta do it right this time. Yeah. I gotta do it right this time. Yeah. They say that what goes up will eventually come down, and what goes around will come back again. They say you reap what you sow, so in time your harvest will grow from the seed you planted from your soul. That's why we can't take no more chances, spreading hate amongst the masses instead of love that will make us one. That's why we gotta do all we can. We've got to make amends for the time we've lost being foolish. Oh, so time, I apologize. Will you be my friend? I apologize. I know I was foolish. I I apologize by letting you slip through my hands. I apologize when you gave me a chance. I apologize. Oh yes, I admit I apologize. It was immaturity. I apologize that made me misuse thee. I apologize, but time, please come back to me. I gotta get it. Time, please come back to me. I gotta get it. Time, please come back to me. I gotta get it. Time, please come back to me. I gotta get it. I gotta do it right this time. Yeah. I gotta do it right this time. I gotta do it right this time. I gotta do it right this time. I gotta do it right this time.
Yeah,
Listen. The sultry, the soul. I love it. All right, y'all. Listen.
that was beautiful.
All right. I don't know, really too much more to say about all these beautiful, talented voices we have. But hold on, before we get back into all of this,
With that little beat, that little drum she have, that she be. That's my favorite Fifi moment. But that's all right. That song was beautiful. That's her. I think that's her song, and I just love all of that. So we appreciate. People should come as they want to.
indeed, indeed. Listen, I just want to make sure that we take a pause. Can we do a little shameless plug for Woke Vote right here? Listen, we heard a lot of great information from Commissioner LaShonda Scales about the opportunities you have to get out there and make sure you have the information about voting. What I want you all to do, if you are unsure about anything regarding voting, make sure you go to votes.wokevote.us. Let me make sure I have something up here. Boom. Vote.wokevote.us. This will allow you to be able to get all the information necessary about what you need to do to get yourself prepared to vote. That is everything from the registration. You can check the status of your registration. You can register to vote from there. You can go on there and see where your polling location is. You can even decide you want to go ahead and find out the information about early voting and how that affects you in any state. This isn't just for Alabama. Any state, you just select your state. It'll give you that information. And if you are so inclined, you can go on there and tell us you want to help us out in some way and volunteer with our campaign. So make sure you go to vote.wokevote.us. If you don't do nothing but go on there and make me feel happy by looking at all the hard work that these people have put in to put this site together, then please go do that. But go to the website, click around, make sure that you understand all of the things that are necessary for you to be able to do to get yourself out there on somebody's polling location and cast this ballot. I ain't playing with y'all. All right, I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate that. The
Yeah.
one thing that we really want everyone to do is to commit to vote.
Commit.
So go to vote.wokevote.us. If nothing else, if you know your status and all those things, please just commit to vote. And what you'll get from us is a reminder the day before election day or on election day to make sure that you have either already early voted through the absentee ballot process or early voting if you're in another state. But that you remember to do that. We need you all to make that commitment. Y'all, I cannot express how important it is for us to vote this year. I cannot express how important this census work is. I'll be honest, we got a lot of stuff we could have been doing with our time tonight and these other nights. We all do. All of the wonderful artists and musicians that you see, these people, we've got things to do. All of these, community leaders and elected officials, they're here because you matter. Your voice matters. Your census matters and your vote matters. And so please, 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 if you have any questions about the voting process, go to vote.wokevote.us or just wokevote.us. You'll get there either way. If you have any questions about the census, please, please, please go to the census, my2020 census.gov, and you make sure that you have what you need. Listen, I'm excited about this next person because I have known and worked with this person in so many capacities, and he always shows up for the community and shows up for Birmingham. Can you bring our next guest to the stage, please? To
Yeah,
our
absolutely.
stage.
Absolutely. We're going to bring Mr. Ralph Williams Jr. He put the junior on there to let y'all know what it is. How you doing, sir?
Ralph, can you hear us? He looks frozen.
Yeah, I
I'm
think he's
good.
delayed a little bit.
I can, leaders. How y'all doing this evening?
We good. How are you? You a little frozen, Ralph.
I'm doing great. Uh-oh, I'm sorry. Maybe my connection.
Yes, it's a little bit of a delay, but it's all right. Go ahead and speak your
Can y'all hear
piece,
me
sir.
okay?
We'll be quiet and let you talk, and then you can tell us what you got to say.
Ralph, if you can hear us, there's just a little bit of a delay in your
Yeah. I, okay, thank you.
Mm.
I can hear you. I appreciate y'all having me this evening.
yeah.
And I just admire and love the work that y'all are doing. Thank you for doing this. A couple things I was thinking about this evening. You know, if you 20 years ago, what was happening? The election 20 years ago,
Yeah.
the Supreme Court essentially appointed our um, and so we've got a bunch of people now who are in this election. You know, some of them are 18, just turning 18, and you know, some of them are maybe 20 or 21 years old, voting for their first president.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you that in our lifetimes, how important the census is, how important elections are. And I never would have thought, as a young activist 20 years ago, that I'd be seeing this kind of unrest.
Yeah.
I never thought that I'd see anything, the intensity, the level of intensity around an election to be greater than what I experienced then. Uh, but it's the intensity is much greater.
Yeah.
And a couple things I wanted to say, because you may have some of your viewers and supporters out there wondering why in the hell would you have some corporate person on this call? Well, let me tell you why. Um, you know, we've done a lot of work together, and we're living in an interesting time as Black and brown people in this country. You know, a lot of us, my family is 6 generations in Birmingham, and we were all told go to school, get a good education, go get a job, and a lot of us in our families are, maybe that first, second college graduate, first or second person working some sort of corporate job, first or second, first generation business owner. And so, as Commissioner Scales just mentioned, we have a dual obligation, not only to ourselves to be productive citizens and do right by each other, but we have a dual obligation to our communities. And so, my dad told me a long time ago, son, that's your job, it's not your purpose. And so I've lived my life by that mantra. And so there's nothing that I wake up and do on any day that God wakes me up that's not about my purpose. I got to get up and go to work, make money, take care of my family, but that never
Right.
gets in the way of my purpose. And this election coming up, I don't know that there's ever been a time in my life that I can remember when it's more important for us to stand up and be counted for a number of reasons. If there's anybody out there that's listening tonight, if you disagree with any corporate policies, if you disagree with any public policy positions that any elected official has taken, the first thing you need to do is stand up and be counted,
That's right.
because businesses, corporations, they operate off of numbers. And so the community development projects, the economic development projects, grocery stores, new schools, all of those things are based off of population. And if we're not counted, um, it it may send the wrong message. Secondly, this election, I've come to the point to where I've gone beyond trying to convince people uh, to support a party, right? I've gotten to the point to where I want people, because for the most part, most of us want the same things. We want great schools for our kids. We want our kids to have a better, to have as much hope, if not, and usually we'll be supporting the same candidate if those things are important to us. Uh, and so, you know, a couple things I really wanted to hammer home is like, if you want things to change, it does not change until you stand up. Number one, and it starts at home. Secondly, don't think for 1 minute that your vote doesn't count, because we saw 20 years ago in some small cities in in Florida, in the South, around state, that changed the course of our country. Just imagine if Al Gore and Joe Lieberman had been elected 20 years ago. Just
That's right.
imagine what our country would look like. We may not be experiencing some of the things we've experienced in terms of healthcare, uh, union wages and working wages for working families. I was one of those kids. I don't know if you were. When I went off to school, they used to have something called Cobra. I don't even know if that still exists, but I went through college without health care
Yeah.
because my couldn't afford to pay that. I had a younger sibling, and so all of these kinds of things that you don't think about, it matters.
Yeah.
And the census and the election, any election that you can stand up and voice your opinion in, or express your position on policy, by the candidate that you vote for and casting your
Yeah.
vote, and being counted, it all matters. So I just really appreciate y'all having me, and thinking about me being on this, a part of this platform tonight. Dewana, I love you, sister. You are an amazing person. Y'all are doing some great work. Um, and y'all are just blessed enough to be able to have the work you doing be your purpose. And so when what they say about that, when those things intersect, that's God in the middle of that. And so I just appreciate y'all, and I love y'all for the work that y'all are doing for our communities.
We appreciate you too, Ralph. I mean, for those who don't know, because we didn't even get a chance to intro you, but I don't know. Do you want? I always, if you ask me, he the CEO of Alabama Power, just period. But I know that's, I know that's not his official title. But um, when it comes to Ralph, what is your official, the vice president of, what is it? What's your official title? Can
I'm
you hear us?
area manager for Birmingham Division.
That's
So I Birmingham Division, in Alabama, within Alabama Power Company. Uh, about half of our customers are in Birmingham Division, so that's Jefferson and Shelby counties. And
right.
so, and as you know, we've got two of the top six cities in Birmingham and Hoover that are in
Yeah.
Birmingham Division. So we got a large customer base. Uh, you know, two of the top three school systems in the state. So a lot happens in the Birmingham metro area. Um, and so I'm the area manager for our Birmingham division. But at the end of the day, Dewana, as you know, both of you guys know, it's more about the team, right? And
Right.
so what's amazing about our team is that I got a lot of teammates, from all walks of life who grew up in this area.
Right.
They went to Birmingham City schools, or they went to Jefferson County schools. They're of different faiths, um, different hues. But the one thing that is central is that we all want the city of Birmingham to be successful.
Yes.
And I can't tell how important that is beyond the bottom line, because at the end of the day, look, if people stand up and are counted in this census, it's good for business for us, because that means there's more people and more meters are turning. But guess what? We don't ever get to that point if people don't stand up.
Right.
We never get to that point. And so we can't get to the business until we get to the community. We gotta get to us before we get to any business. And
Yeah.
so I'm just thankful that I have an opportunity to work for a company that allows me to
That's right.
to be me and work and serve in the community I grew up in. And I love my teammates who are also serving. I'm here, speaking on behalf of them this evening. But there's thousands of us across this city and across this county that are serving our customers. And I just happen to be lucky enough to be here with y'all representing them tonight.
Well, we thank you so much, Ralph. You are always down for the community when we call you for all kinds of things. You're an absolute champion for our neighborhoods and for our city and for the surrounding areas. So we really appreciate you being here. I think it was important for people to understand that this census impacts every single part of the way in which our community around, or how our city is operating. It's not just about education. It's not just about healthcare. It is about our economic status. It is about our business community. It is about our corporate responsibility, all of those different things. And so your voice was essential as always. And we thank you so much for supporting us. G.I., you had anything else before we let Mr. Ralph go?
No, I just wanted to echo those sentiments. I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to make sure that we have some connectivity to all of the sectors that this impacts, because I think it's important, like you said, for people to see. Again, I talked about this earlier, the gravity of a moment, right? Like, it's not just a shallow pond that we're casting pebbles into. Like, this is a deep well that we're trying to draw upon. And people just need to understand, like, the resources that you can pull from that well if you stand up and make sure that you're a part of the number counted in it.
That's right. Thank you so much, Ralph. We appreciate you.
All right. So now that was good information. Again, listen, the website is at the bottom of the screen. As long as that site is live tonight and you are able to go on there and register yourself in the census, I want you all to continue to ping that and hit that. I feel like I'm on a telethon right now saying people that right, but listen, it's that important that we do these sorts of things. All right, so we've gotten y'all some good information once again. So it's time to balance this thing back out and get into this good singing. So again, another one of my friends, I get to keep saying this, another one of my friends and a wonderful voice, wonderful voice in the city. And we're going to bring her up here and we're going to let her do this thing. So Miss Sharon is going to come up here and she's going to bless us real quick. So we're going to kick it back over to the Artist Lounge and we're going to bring up Sharon.
I was born by the river in a little tent, oh, just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gon' come. Oh, yes it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me, please. But he winds up knocking watching me. Back down on my knees. Oh, there were times when I thought I couldn't last too long. Now I know I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes, it
Listen, Sharon, she gonna do it to you every time.
I wasn't ready for that to be over. I'm like, can we go back to the artist live? Can I get one more? Somebody, anybody, can I get one more? A change gonna come?
Yeah, she gonna do it every time. Sharon just has that sweet voice.
Oh, that voice been here before. I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
that been here before. Ooh, that was such a good. I mean, whoo, yeah, that was good. That was good to me. I had to rock. You know how, like, senior people
Right.
been here before, how they rock a little bit. That made me
Yeah.
rock. That's so good. I mean, it's been, so much going on today. I just, I'm still, I think, in utter shock that they would, of some of the things that have happened today. For those of you who might just be joining in, who haven't really heard about everything that's going on, here we are getting ready to do a census event and a voter event. And we find out that moments before this, that the Supreme Court has taken some action around, stopping the census from being able to go to the 31st. But what we know for certain right now, there's still some things out there. What we know for certain is that you can still do your census online right now, and you can call it in. Tomorrow we don't know, but today you can
Right.
still do your census and call it in. One of my favorite scriptures say, "You got to work while it's day, because when night comes, no man knows." Because I mean, it's just the way things are happening, how swift things are happening during this time. I mean, we talked about some of the issues with voting in places like Georgia and Louisville today, and Virginia, how the whole system shut down from one person accidentally, cutting a wire. And, quite frankly, all of this is distraction from trying to get us to use our power, to use our voice, to really just make sure that that we exist. These are ways that we prove our existence every single day, is by showing up in these ways. And so, our goal, our commitment as organizations, as parts of this community, is to do everything that we can. When we know better, we do better. When we have the opportunity. And so, first of all, I just want to thank you all, everybody who's joined into this live with us. Even just being here as a part of the process, you are changing our community. You are supporting our community. And also, I just want to, can we just, for everybody who's already been on, all the artists, the musicians, they're, for folks who don't know, they are coming to us live from Bazaar, which is a local,
Mm-hmm.
Small business coffee shop and venue we have here in the city of Birmingham. Special shouts out to the beautiful and wonderful Nadia Tellis, who
Mm-hmm.
coordinates so many of these wonderful
My stage manager back there handling things in the artist lounge.
singing background back there. Y'all don't even know.
Yeah.
And just so many people who helped to put this together, who believe in this city, you know, more than they believe, you know, in any one of our leadership. They believe in this city, and this is the way that they show up. I put, you know, that on everybody. We have some wonderful, wonderful folk here in the city of Birmingham. And I think we're going to the person who's really been helping to organize our efforts around census, right? Like,
yeah. So, you know, a lot of times, because we get the opportunity to be the ones out in the forefront, people don't understand that the people behind the scenes allow us the space to do things like this. So, you know, this brother, you know, he's definitely in the forefront in his own right. He is a Fairfield City Council member. Like, he's not just, you know, some working person that stays in the shadows. He's been doing a lot of work on the front line, and we're gonna bring up brother Cedric Norman to the stage, or to the stream right quick, and we're gonna let him talk to y'all a little bit. Ced, how you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Long days, long nights. Hey, it's all a part of the deal.
Indeed.
Yes, thank you, Cedric. So for those of you who don't know, Ced leads our Count Me in Birmingham census initiative that really is helping to make sure everything we can do, every resource, everything, you know, every tool that's at our disposal, that we can get as many people activated in the census. And what many might also not know is that Cedric is one of our, you know, major organizers and national leaders with the Woke Vote organization. And so, you know, he's wearing actually not even dual hats. You already heard.
Hey, I'm wearing like a lot.
He's a PhD candidate. He got all this stuff going on, and yet he is here with us tonight. And so I think it's a testament to, you know, the kind of leaders and young leaders, particularly, that we have in this city, that will figure out how to juggle it when it means that our cities are at risk, and, you know, and our, you know, really our voices are at stake. And so, Cedric, you know, you're our last sort of, you know, expert tonight, coming to us about both the census and voting. You know, you've been working on this. I know you've been working with the hard to count, or and the hard to reach spaces in our community. You know, what are you thinking? I mean, how, you know, what should we be thinking, and what are some of the tools and resources, you know, before, you know, that we need to share before we wrap this up here in a few minutes?
So, first off, thank you guys for the space and the opportunity to be able to talk to the city of Birmingham and talk to people at large about how important the census is and how important voting is. I don't think that we can ever overstress that. We are seeing, like you guys have mentioned, like, man, they are pulling every trick they can out the bag to stop people from voting, from stopping people to getting to register, stopping you to filling out an absentee ballot, stopping you from voting in person. Anything they can do, they are pulling it out the bag. So when individuals start pulling out dirty tactics, you know, they're on the ropes. They're desperate. And this country is desperate to keep things at a status quo in the way it is. But I believe we are more desperate to bring about change and long-lasting change and permanent change. So, you know, when we got the news about the Supreme Court ruling, it was like, wait, I didn't see that. Where that come from? Like, you're literally pulling out phones, looking up articles, Googling, and trying to figure out what happened. So when we had this event back in September, towards the end of September, we knew this was a possibility. And the thing that we're saying tonight is the same thing we said a few weeks ago, is don't wait. Fill it out now. That website is scrolling on the bottom. The number is 1-844-330-2020. Miss Carletta Singleton was on earlier, and I'm going to read a message that she sent me when she got up, that she wanted to make sure that I let people know. She said all schools with virtual learning should tell parents and students first assignment tomorrow morning is complete the questionnaire online and turn in the confirmation number from the survey for class credit. So I don't know who's out there that's a teacher or whatever the case may be, or who needs to hear that, but that's the word from Miss Carletta Singleton. So as far as the tools that we can use, the hardworking team that works with us at Woke Vote create a site specifically to arm you with all the tools and mechanisms you need to prepare yourself for election day. So I'm going to share my screen right now so that we can be able to look at one of those tools that we have, and that's our site, vote.wokevote.us. So as you can see on this site, the first thing it asks is what state you live in. So we're going to say Alabama. Then we're going to get info about Alabama. So first thing that comes up is that we have 6 days left to register for the general election. The next thing after that is 16 days until early voting ends in the state of Alabama. And then 16 days left to request your absentee ballot by mail or in person. 20 days to return your voted ballot by mail or in person. And then 20 days until election day. Listen, y'all, 20 days sounds like a long time, but 20 days will be here before you know it. So make sure you have that plan and that you are getting ready. So the first thing you'll do is to commit to vote. So not going to put all my personal information in right now. So we're going to just skip past this. So next thing you could do is to register to vote online or by mail. October 19th. Yes, the state of Alabama does have online voter registration. You can go online, click on this link on our website, go online and register to vote online in the state of Alabama. If you're already registered, be sure you check your registration. Listen, y'all, we've talked about all the different tricks and tools and different things that the opposition has been using. Check your registration. Don't just assume that you are an active voter or that your voting is in place. Go ahead and check your registration. And only, like this says, this only takes a minute. It's not going to hurt you to be sure that you're actually registered to vote. And next up, we have make a voting plan. So if you plan to vote by mail, request a ballot. If you're going to vote early, you have between September 9th and October 29th to do so in person or vote on election day. Make sure you get to your polling place by November 3rd and know what time on November 3rd you're going to vote. Make sure you check your polling places. They have closed a large number of, they have closed some polling places down and shifted to others. So don't just assume, don't take this casual. Y'all, it is important, vitally important that you have a plan on what you're going to do on election day or leading up. So last but not least, want to make sure you spread the word, share this website, get people to commit to vote. It's not enough for people to say, yeah, I'm gonna vote on November 3rd. Don't worry about me. No, we worried about everybody. So even if you are committed to vote, we want to make sure that you have your voting plan together. So commit to vote, commit to vote, commit to vote, commit to vote. Go to vote.wotevote.us to do that, as well as share the information that people need and the resources that people need to be able to get registered, make sure they're counted, and make sure their voice is heard.
All right, let's listen. Listen. He broke it down all the way to the molecule right there. Ain't nothing else to be said about that, Cedric. We definitely appreciate your diligence in being available to do all the things necessary to get people out there and activated, and also just your willingness to come on tonight and help us make sure that information is spread out. So definitely, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Cedric.
No problem, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All right. We are getting close to the end of this thing here. And, there's been a lot of things that have been said. If I could recount some of the things that have been said tonight, we talked about the numbers. We talked about the connectivity to how it impacts every level of our community, from the business sector to how it's going to impact the way that we get seats when it comes to, how we're going to be able to be counted in Washington, when we're talking about the dollars that we're going to be get from federal funding, when we talk about how this thing is going to impact even the way that we are able to vote when it comes up in the future. All of these things matter when we talk about the census, and they are going to echo again for years to come. After this, we want you all to understand that you are here in this moment to be counted, and let your voice be heard, even if you feel as if it's just one voice amongst a sea of many. That one voice still matters, right? It's going to amplify the volume even more. So we thank everybody who's given their time and their attention to tonight. We are about to close this thing out. And before we do that, I do want to make sure that we give an opportunity to thank all of those who have helped to bring this together. Of course, we've already talked about Bazaar, the coffee bar, which we are going to go back to for our artist lounge in just a minute. But like the people at HICA that have been working to make sure that we have these things together. We had Isaac Cooper here from the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. We had representative from Alabama Power, Mr. Ralph Williams Jr. We had representation from the city of Birmingham with Council President
William Parker.
William Parker was on here.
Should also shout out Councilor Stephen Hoyt, who was on there but had to jump off. So
we definitely appreciate Councilor Hoyt for giving his time. Who else? Quando was on here, making sure that we had representation with that.
Community Foundation of Birmingham.
Who else? I'm missing people. Commissioner LaShonda Scales was on here tonight. Thank her very much.
Yeah.
Who am I missing? Miss Carletta.
Carletta Singleton from
and I'm missing somebody else.
I don't think so. If we've had more than that, then I can't even keep up with everybody.
No, I'm missing somebody. Carlos was on here tonight. That's who else I'm missing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, all of our artists who have been able to bless us tonight. Miss Kristen A was on here, Jill Gray, Fifi, Sharon. All of those have given us some lovely numbers. But we're going to close it out with the always. His name is the entertainer. So we know we're about to get some good entertainment.
My
We're
mama
going
been waiting on this all night. I'm not even lying.
Okay.
When I say she loves this next in this final performance, she was like, she said, I'm going to watch all the way over again, even though she watched the last one, just so she can see this. So listen, this is for my mama.
Okay, so bring into the stream on here for Miss Janice. If it ain't for nobody else, we gonna kick it back over here to the Artist Lounge to my man Logan. Y'all get ready to be prepared for that. Logan, we on up.
The entertainer.
What's up, y'all? What's up, Birmingham, and everybody that's watching? We'd just like to thank everybody who participated in the Woke Vote event tonight. Y'all show your love for Sharon Collins, Fifi, Jay Great Music, Kristen A. Yes, all of our musicians here. Brian on keys, Reggie on keys, Navari on drums, Corey on bass. It's very important that we vote this November 3rd. And if you can do it early, do it early. Make your vote count. Let your voice be heard. I'm Logan the Entertainer. Yeah. So you can groove wherever you are, because we're going to groove on to the voting polls, baby. Clap your hands out there. Hey, come on. I can't feel myself, but don't want nobody else to ever love me. You are a shining star, my guiding light, my fantasy. Doesn't matter a minute, hour, day, or nothing, I don't love you. You're at the top of my list, cause I'm always thinking of you. I still remember in the days when I was scared to touch you. How I spent my days dreaming, planning how to say I love you. You must have known that I had feelings deep enough to swim in. That's when you opened up your heart. You told me to come. Oh, my love. Hey. 1,000 kisses from you is never too much, never too much, never too much. You can never do too much good. I just don't wanna stop. Hey. Oh, my. Too much, never too much. If you feel like singing, you can sing for the dog. A million days in your arms is never too much, never too much, never too much. We ain't gonna stop both, y'all. I need your vote. Whoever you support this year, just make sure you vote. A lot of people fought for us to get here today, and respect that. Hey! Woke up today, meditation just to get me started. I want you up, but you were there and I was broken hearted. Hung up the phone, came too late, the boss is so demanding. Open the door up and to my surprise there you were standing. Who needs to go to work to hustle for another dollar? I'd rather be with you cause you make my heart scream and holler. Love is a gamble and I'm so glad that we are winning. We've come a long way and that this is only the begin. Black Lives Matter. A million days in your arms is never too much, never too much, never too much. Put your right fist up out there and just pump it up, y'all. Hey, if you feel good about being black, say yeah. And if you somebody black that's gonna go vote, say yeah. Cause you know what, we support all the people, but we gotta support our people. Come on, y'all. Hey, and I And you know when you're yearning, you can never do too much good, but you're always yearning for people to comply. We're always yearning for people to comply. We just need our people to comply this time. If you're not registered, get registered. If you want to vote on these 2 Saturdays that are coming up, Alabama, the state of Alabama has made that aware that you can vote on a Saturday if you work. I think that's coming up this weekend and next weekend, the 17th and the 24th. Saturday voting, that's something new. 2020 has brought a lot of new stuff, but guess what? You can do it. You can make it. I know you can. You can make it through anything, people. The time has come for us to go vote again. Well, don't you know that we like having us around in our lives? We need life to be better, y'all. Come on. Oh, people. So many times I long to hold you on to me. Feel good. I like to say I love y'all softly in your ear. Oh, oh. Right. Be my lover. If y'all know the song out there, TV lady say, my heart is yearning for your vote. We need to vote November the 3rd. I said, our heart and the country is yearning for your vote. Whatever your choice is of candidates, make sure you vote. Hey! Ooh, that feels good right there. Somebody just, put your hands up in the air, wave them like you just don't care. Somebody shout, vote. Shout, vote, vote, vote. Shout, vote. November the 3rd. So many times I long to have you by my side. We need somebody by our side to be our friend in 2020. I love her and I die. We need a leader, y'all. We need a leader. Oh, baby. So many times I long to have you by my side. I may repeat it again. To be my friend. We need a lover and a guide. Oh, people, don't stop rolling. We gotta vote every time, y'all. Come on, you tell them. Say my vote. My vote, yes, it counts. Everybody gotta know that. That no vote counts. I said your vote, yes, it counts. Don't ever think that it don't. My heart is yearning for you. Let me inside your love. Oh, my heart is yearning for a voting pool and this booth. I'm gonna go in that booth and I'm gonna cast my vote on November the 3rd. Keep voting. Everybody say what? Keep voting. We gonna say keep on voting. What? Keep on voting. Hey, keep voting. November the 3rd, y'all. You can't keep it running in it. You can't keep it running in and out of my life. Hey, you gotta keep voting on November the 3rd, yes. Everybody go and vote, 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 vote. Keep on. If you want change, keep voting. Keep on. Let's say it again. people. Yes, he did. Everything that's in you is in you because of God. And if you want change, you be that change. Vote November the 3rd. Early vote if you can. Power to the people, democracy forever.
Ooh, that groove is good for me. It's good for me. Listen, it's after 9 o'clock. We're gonna let the people go, but I'm about to go over to where they at the car. I don't know about you, but
Look, I wish I could. I wish I could.
I'm gonna take some vote button and I'm ready to go to the car. Thank you everybody so much for joining us tonight. This has been incredible. Just so much great to end with such a positive. He said VOTE. I was like, yes, for the
He hit us with that strong remix. I wasn't ready. I was not personally prepared, but I ain't
I was
mad at it.
there for all of that. But thank you so much, Logan. We appreciate you for closing out with such a powerful message, such a always timely. I may have missed out on saying thank you to Tavares Cook, who I know is providing the sound over there for us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you so much to every single person who came together to make tonight a success. This may be our last census conversation, but I guarantee you we're going to be right in front of your face in a couple of days around this voting as well. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you so much for putting all this, helping me put all this together, for making sure that we have a great platform to do this. You know, you are always we've been doing this work together for a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes it's unreal, but it's good. Like I really appreciate you and the commitment that you and your family, your wife and your son is making to making sure that we take care of our community. So thank you guys so much, and Ike, I'll give you the last word.
I'm gonna just hit y'all with that Russell Simmons. God bless you and good night. We out of this thing, man.
All right.
Peace.
Thank you.